How's it? I'm Krista, and welcome to Diamond Cornerstone. And I'm busy looking at the work of Robert Edward Grant, and something that came from Robert Edward. He took us to the Bard Code with Alan Green, and then another interview was with Richard Rudd. Now Richard Rudd has the GeneKeys, an epiphany in a saint's cave. I think it was a hermit of some kind, and from this he got the 64 GeneKeys. Now there's 64 keys, and each key moves from the shadow to the gift to the city, which is like a genius. And what the GeneKeys is in essence, and I've actually made like notes from the webpage, is it's a synthesis of world wisdom. If you ever say the word wisdom, my grandfather, he always said, "My boy, seek wisdom first." Wisdom is a certain amount of knowledge plus comprehension, and then wisdom is the application. It's applied knowledge and applied comprehension. And actually, if you look at our infinity diamond, with the green and the red, you'll actually see it all goes through heart center, which is application. Because everything happens when we actually apply our hearts and actually get our heart space right and unlock our heart. Our love and love consciousness. Okay, but Richard goes, so my grandfather always taught me, seek wisdom first, and there are 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs, which is kind of funny because that's one a day, every day, according to the day of the month. And I did it for about 20 years, and then one day I just stopped. And then suddenly I found, thanks to Robert and his think tank, I got to GeneKeys, and I actually started doing it, and that's based on the I Ching, which is the book of change in Chinese culture, and there are actually 64 points on the I Ching, which actually matches to every 5.4 or 0.6 days you flick into the next one. So you're actually looking for wisdom, a new key of wisdom, every 5.4 days. So it's like we've just come out of GeneKey 42, which actually moved from the shadow was blanking expectation, which goes to detachment, because expectation will always, if you have an expectation, you can always have a disappointment. So rather put it out there, detach, and when it comes back and you're blessed beyond words, that's a celebration. And celebration isn't always at the beginning or the end. It's a constant life of celebration, and that's the city, that's the genius. You can't always, it's my job, I make lunch, I can put it out there. If I'm expecting thank yous and gratitude and, oh, how great's my food, then I've done it with the wrong intent. My goal was to serve. The response from everyone, I must detach from that, because maybe someone's mind is somewhere else, and they're not focusing on the food because they're thinking of a traumatic experience from 5 years ago. My job isn't to do it for the gratitude, otherwise it's self-centered again. It's about service. So you detach, but if you get the gratitude, then that's a bonus. But in any case, the whole thing was a celebration because it's lunch, and that's lekker. Okay, but otherwise, so there's 64 GeneKeys, and we've actually gone through and it unlocks, and it's world wisdom. So it's everything from looking at Christ's teachings and alchemy, plus some of the Buddhist teachings, and bringing these wisdoms together into keys. And you'll find your path according to your religious or faith-based background. Because there's even a certain amount of sci-fi in it, which makes it really wow, because we're using modern metaphor for basic core wisdom principles. And yeah, it's diverse approaches, because each person is unique. Each person is and when you look at the diamond aspire from the gray to the red to the green to the blue, each of our aspires is unique. To try to put us all into into a workforce system of everybody is the same. I think you've got to celebrate uniqueness. You celebrate your first child, you celebrate your second child, you celebrate your third child, but you can't make them all in the same box. There is no box. It's like, think outside of the box. There is no box. There is no square. There is no spoon. A little bit of Matrix. Okay, so it's left brain and right brain, imaginative, meditative, contemplative. To contemplate something is to think differently. To meditate on something, but you can also pray about it as well, which is giving thanks and gratitude. There's a little bit of Shakespeare. There's a little bit of quintessence. There's a little bit of alchemy. There's a little bit of poetry. But it's lots of different paths, and each of us has to. I think the hardest thing for all of us is to actually have the guts to get off the beaten path and to say, hey, I am unique. Let me shine. Let me be my diamond. Let me honor my diamond. So yeah, thank you, Richard. Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Alan. And yeah, this is the diamond cornerstone. It's a cornerstone for our new earth. And yeah, be the diamond, aspire.